For the past 32 years, the Ultimate Workout has focused on providing teenagers an extreme mission experience in an exotic locale. But for 2 years, the COVID-19 pandemic placed the international adventure on hold.
Ultimate Workout has historically been held internationally, but due to COVID, we had to plan different projects for the last few years. So 2020, we had a virtual project, and then last year, 2021, we held it in Kayenta, Arizona. So this year was our first year since COVID that we've been able to be back internationally, and we weren't really sure how to plan. We weren't sure what the response would be. We weren't sure if parents were going to be scared to send their kids internationally. We weren't sure if teenagers would want to travel internationally.
In faith, Maranatha staff moved forward with a plan to take the Ultimate Workout back outside of the United States. Teens began to sign up in droves, eager to experience a new adventure.
And we had an overwhelming response with lots of people joining, wanting to come, and we even had to go to a wait list very early in the registration process, earlier than we normally would have because we just had too many students joining. In fact, we had so many students that Maranatha then assigned a second church so that we could expand the number of teens that we could accept on the project. In addition, we had teens joining from different countries. So we had a small group coming from Belgium, and we also had a small group coming from right here in Peru. And so that added to our numbers of teens on the project. So overall, I would say that the response was very positive towards the project, and we've been very happy with the group that we got here, and great group of teenagers.
In July 2022, more than 100 teenagers descended on the city of Tacna in southern Peru. Their enthusiasm and excitement was palpable.
It's really inspiring to be around that many people that want to serve, want to help people, and it's for God. It just makes you want to be a better person for Him, and makes you want to get to heaven faster. It's really exciting, and I love it so much.
I would say Ultimate Workout is one of the most special projects that we run at Maranatha. I work with adult teams every single day, and while they have wonderful mission experiences and they come back changed, I think working with the teens really is an extra level of the Maranatha mission statement, which is building people. We have 100 teenagers here that need to be built, that want to be built, and they're anxious for a connection with Christ, they're anxious for friends, for a community, and I think that's what Maranatha and Ultimate Workout in particular provides for a lot of these teens. They find a family.
Some might say that teenagers eager to work hard, serve others, and connect with Christ are an anomaly. But the Ultimate Workout creates opportunities for teens to challenge the norm.
I say the stereotypes on teenagers is pretty sad because we are nonetheless the future of this world, and the fact that people don't really believe in us already shuts any plans that we had or we wanted down. So on these trips, it immediately disproves it. People say that teenagers sit around all day long and that we don't do anything. But the moment that we get out here and start to work, we have beat the quota multiple times for the amount of work that people think that we can do. And we've been told by staff that they are impressed with us and that we go above and beyond expectations.
It wasn't long before the teenagers got to work disproving stereotypes and leaving their mark in 3 communities around the city of Tacna. In the community of Alto Tacna, work began on the construction of a new church. The arrival of the volunteers is an answer to prayer for this mountaintop congregation.
Playing blocks is fun because it takes patience and focus, and if you don't do it right, it's gonna mess up. So it's fun to see something, do it, and then feel that accomplishment that you actually got it done right. It makes me happy that I'm helping other people, and I'm glad that they're gonna have somewhere nicer to worship and come to God, because we have nicer places, and so it's just good that we can share our privilege with other people.
Construction was just one of the ways volunteers impacted Alto Tacna. Children's programs and visitation in the neighborhood gave them an opportunity to get to know the community, and they uncovered an additional need: food. They sprung into action, making a trip to a few local stores to purchase basics such as rice, lentils, and cooking oil. Then they assembled care packages to distribute throughout the neighborhood.
So we went and we bought groceries in the morning and then came back up and divided it into bags and then made like 40 bags and then walked around just where this VBS spot is and distributed it to the people that we saw outside. So like we knocked on a few doors, but mainly if someone was working outside or just standing on the corner, we gave them a bag of food, and everyone was very happy and excited, and everyone had a smile on their face when we gave it to them.
I would say that the Ultimate Workout has impacted my life, where it's opened new ways of thinking. It's opened where I can realize that there's other people that have more needs than I do, and that the things that we have, it's nice, but they're not needed for happiness. I think it's really helpful, just overall life.
Across the valley, another group based their outreach activities in the Nueva Jerusalem Church. They held children's ministry programs. Neighborhood kids learned more about God and healthy living through songs, skits, and interactive activities. Another group of teens worked on providing a facelift to the Nueva Jerusalem Church. Built by Maranatha in 2006, the structure is in great shape, but the walls enclosing the property were in need of new paint. It may seem like tedious and uninteresting work, but this time offers opportunities for connection and conversation.
I feel like we're not really distracted here because they try to encourage us to not use our phones and to not stay distracted. So we're more just connecting with each other and have the same goal. Versus back at home, sometimes a lot of us are just living the same lives and just being distracted on our phones, on social media and everything. But here we're more just focused on what really matters.
The teens not only connect with each other, but with the staff that work alongside them.
It means a lot that they actually take time, and not just time, they put in money, because I was really surprised when I found out that basically all the staff is paying to be here. I thought that a lot of them were working and they were getting paid to help us and do all that stuff, or at least it was free for them. But no, a lot of them are paying to be here, and it just shows that they really care about mission work and helping others and helping us get closer with God,
I've heard several teens share even this project that they find family through Ultimate Workout, that this is their UW family, that they have met Jesus here, or that they've seen staff who really care about them, or that they've kept in contact with staff who aren't just here for 10 days, they're here for a longer investment in these teens' lives. And so I think it's one of those projects that we have to continue, because it's making a difference in each of these teenagers' lives.
Across town in the neighborhood of Santa Rita, another church is being raised out of the ground. The congregation they're helping began in 2010 with just 9 members. Membership has more than tripled, and it will only continue to grow when their new church is complete. 17-year-old Naishane Bernardina is one of the teens working hard to build the walls of the new Santa Rita Church.
Ja, wat we aan het doen zijn is blokken zetten en dan cement erop en dan gewoon zo steeds omhoog gaan. En voor de rest kabels, zagen, blokken brengen, cement maken, cement opscheppen. Dus dat heel proces om een kerk eigenlijk te bouwen.
Naishane lives in the Netherlands, but decided to travel to Peru for the Ultimate Workout after hearing about the project at church. The work was challenging and unlike anything she had done before, but the satisfaction of knowing she's providing a space for people to meet Jesus makes the hard work worth it.
Ja, de grootste impact is dat we gewoon een kerk bouwen voor mensen die God gaan leren kennen en daardoor ook naar de hemel kunnen gaan. Dus dat vind ik zo mooi. Dus dat is eigenlijk de grootste impact voor mij.
Across the street from the church, a line is forming at the community park. People are patiently waiting for the medical clinic to open. This would be one of several clinics volunteers would host all over the city of Tacna. The teenage volunteers worked alongside healthcare professionals to provide medical consultations, occupational therapy, and dentistry, along with dispensing necessary medicines. But in addition to the medical care they were able to provide, the clinics served as opportunities for the teens to have hands-on learning and explore a potential career in healthcare.
So all of the healthcare workers in there have been super patient with us. They've been very kind, and I know it's when you're teaching someone, you kind of can. It's a lot to kind of teach, and sometimes I think you just want the person to learn like really fast, and it's easy to be kind of impatient, I guess. But they've all been patient with us. They've been super open and like willing to teach us stuff about medical field, that kind of stuff. They've even like let us do anesthetic shots to themselves to practice on, and then to patients. So they've been super loving and open to us, and they've taught us a lot, I'd say.
It also opened their eyes to how they could use these new clinical skills to reach people for Christ.
Honestly, what drove me to the medical team the most was the fact that, I want to be an emergency room physician, so that's pretty obvious, but I think it's a really great way to help people, like when Jesus was, ministering to other people, he didn't just, he met their physical needs as well as their spiritual ones, and often that's the easiest way to reach people. When you meet their needs, they'll be like, oh wow, why are you doing this for us? And then you can kind of, build off of there.
Before this trip, I would say, in my mind, I was thinking, oh, this mission trip is gonna totally impact me. We're gonna make so many changes in people's lives here in Peru. But honestly, it kind of, being on the medical team, and I got the opportunity to be a pastor yesterday for one of the sites or rotations. And I think that instead of us kind of helping them, a lot of us were touched by the people here, and we were impacted by them. And a lot of them prayed for us. When we offered prayer, they were like, oh, let me pray for you. And I think that just opened up something in my mind that was like, wow, then these people who have barely anything care so much for us, and they're so appreciative. I'm definitely coming back more changed, and my mind has been more open to being more compassionate and caring, I guess, for people who may not have as much as we do.
When we come back, see spiritual transformation in action on The Ultimate Workout. The Ultimate Workout was designed with 3 major goals. First, to construct quality buildings. Second, to support the local Adventist community and their outreach efforts. The last, and arguably most important, is for the teens to have a spiritually transformative experience. And planning the spiritual goals of this project is done with an immense amount of intentionality.
The goal was to truly give them an opportunity to experience God, in the flesh, for the Word to become flesh for them. And so this year we, through much prayer and, seeking the Lord, we came up with, a man of His Word. And so, over the time of after we had come up with that, we're looking through and saying, what stories can help us, truly give them the best picture of God being a man of His Word. So along with biblical stories and personal testimonies, we felt that we really just wanted to show them that the experiences that we had or that are in the Bible can happen for them on this trip.
Morning and evening worships included exploring God's Word and finding applications for their own lives.
I remember the first day when, the first night when they're here, I wanted them to truly understand that they had already taken a big step of faith to get on a plane and come to a country that they don't know, much about, and to meet new people. And from there, I've just been seeing over and over and over again how God is just opening up their eyes to all the different possibilities that he wants to do with them in the relationship and in their life.
I think the spiritual component of this trip has been very present. It's during the worships, you definitely feel everyone. It's just like everyone's kind of together as one family worshiping God. I think here it's definitely a lot easier and everyone kind of gets into the mood, and yeah, worship times are really fun and stuff.
Well, the spiritual aspect of UW is definitely like throughout every vein and aspect. The staff are so committed to making sure that everyone's aware that this is why we're here, that they don't let you forget for very long, which is great, and I love it.
The authenticity and vulnerability expressed in each of the messages made a particular impact.
It's mostly been like spoken the truth, I feel like. It's people what they experience in their life, and that they're telling us, and that they're telling us that it's okay to have that sort of feeling, or if that happened to you, that it might have happened to them too. And it kind of shows like it's more welcoming. The words were speaking like right through me. It was like as if God was talking to me through their mouth, and it felt like as if nobody was there really around, and he was speaking to me directly, and I felt like I should take that home with me and like impact with my life.
One of the elements of worship included volunteers and staff sharing their own personal experiences. Sharing everything from triumphs to struggles helped to bond the group.
I think the testimonies in particular kind of strike a home chord for me, because they're being so real with their life story, and because they're opening up and being so real, I think it allows us to be real with each other even more, and that gives it more of the family sense.
It's impacted me greatly because I've seen how people get out of their shell, and then they tell these stories and how God helped them, and I want that. I want to be able to get through the obstacles in my life so I can have that deeper connection with God.
Ultimate Workout cultivates an atmosphere where teens can open up and be honest and vulnerable with each other.
I think I developed a family relationship because we're put in a situation where we kind of have to be raw, and when we're trying to work, we have to cooperate in a way that's organic in a sense.
Each morning and evening, Cameron Sanders delivered worship talks to the teens. But not long ago, he was on his very first Ultimate Workout, searching for answers from God. Now he's back watching God continue to work in the lives of other young people.
I experienced Ultimate Workout for the first time at a very vulnerable place in my life, and God didn't disappoint. And so now every time I come back, it's just another encouragement, and it reminds me of the first time that I stepped foot on a plane to go to an Ultimate Workout. And when I see other people, being changed and their lives being, rearranged, Ultimate Workout is that. It's an ultimate workout. It's working out every situation, every struggle that you have, and it's amazing. It's life-changing. Ultimate Workout it's a new experience. It's a second chance.
In 2021, Haley Davis went on her first Ultimate Workout in Kayenta, Arizona. What she found was an environment unlike anything she'd experienced before.
I can't describe it any better than saying magical, because it's just something that is hard to explain. And to me, is that what people need to hear is being said, and what people don't want to hear is being said. And so you hear all these different types of stories, but they all lead back to the one cornerstone, which is Jesus. And that is just like a magical type of thing for me, because even you could be ready to hear things, you may not be ready to hear things, but it's said nonetheless. and you become, for lack of better words, a better person because of it. I got rebaptized last year because I had one of those redeeming magical moments of God saying, come on, it's your turn.
The transformation she experienced was immediately visible to people around her.
After my first Ultimate workout, when I first came home, my mom said, "Who is this? This isn't the child I dropped off," because I was on a spiritual high and I was doing things without being asked and trying to be the best help I could be, and I could not stop talking about all the lessons that I had learned over and all my stories, and it was just it made me more comfortable in talking and speaking my mind and my heart. It made me better at communicating with people, and it strengthened my spiritual life as well. I had some problems going on at home, and when I came home, everything was just kind of not fixed, but a lot better, because God and I had reconciled at Ultimate Workout, and in my eyes, I was, in his eyes and my eyes, I had come to that place where I was happy with myself. And that is what I think helped my spiritual journey the most, is knowing that God loved me and that I was loved, and that's all I needed.
The environment created by Ultimate Workout allows teens to make personal decisions to follow Christ and empowers them to share God's love with others.
It definitely makes me more confident, because when you go back home, you just want to tell people about it, and I feel like I'm not as scared about what others think, and yeah, I'm just more outgoing and ready to if somebody needs something, if they want me to speak or they want me to talk to them, or if they have any questions about the Bible or anything, I'm all in for it.
After a week of service, volunteers set aside their work to reflect and share in communion. And 12 teens stepped into a chilly baptismal pool to make a public commitment to dedicate their lives to Christ.
This will change your life. You meet amazing people, you do amazing things for people. It's crazy how different it is when everyone's working together for God. It's just I think everyone should do it. It's great.
Jump in. It is the best experience of your life, and you will definitely find a deeper connection with the Lord.
I hope that they go away knowing that they can trust a God, that they can trust Him to take care of them, to take care of their lives, to guide them, and that they will have really developed a personal relationship with their God through the different activities that we've offered here on Ultimate Workout, whether that be the construction of a new church, or painting a church, or doing outreach in people's homes, or doing VBS. I hope that they have seen God and will take that relationship home with them to wherever they live.
I've seen God reach out in so many different ways to so many of my friends here at UW, and it's amazing, because you cannot deny the work that God is doing here.